Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Sunday NFL action. The log-jammed AFC North. We've got Cincinnati traveling to play Cleveland. Brian, what a week last week with the AFC North. If Cleveland would have pulled off the win, which they were winning all the way to the final 40 seconds of the game, everybody would have been right there. Right now, Cleveland obviously on the outside looking in, and there was talk last week that they were going to pull the trigger. They didn't. Hoyer had another rough game, although they did have the lead all the way to the end, but they're pulling the trigger and they're going to Johnny Manziel this week. You're a Cleveland Brown fan. I'm going to ask you. My thing is, be careful what you ask for. I'm not sure this is the best move. I know Hoyer's playing bad, but you're bringing a guy in the middle of a playoff run, making the change, and he's a rookie.
They may be in the middle of a playoff push. They're in fourth place in this division. Come on now. The Browns are not a playoff team. If you watch the Browns, the defense is really good. Defensive backs are great. The defensive backs right now are number one in the NFL opponent quarterback rating. Terrific defensive backs. They don't get much pressure on the quarterback. But you need to be able to score points. And I've been a Brian Hoyer fan. Well, I won't say a fan because he's never been a great. But I like the situation, him being there. I'm a hometown type of guy. And I was on his side. I think the time has come. He's got, on the season, he's 31st in quarterback rating on the season. The last 7 weeks, whatever, 32nd, last place. And it's time to make the change. You have to know, Cleveland's not going to the playoffs regardless of who the quarterback is. You have to know if Manziel is your quarterback from the future. This is as good a time as any. Get him in there. Let's see what happens. I think it's the right move. But once again, same things we said last week. Why did you have to announce it? Why can't you wait and have the other team prepare for two quarterbacks? Just come out during the, right before the
Absolutely makes sense, and I don't understand that. I agree with you 100% there. I'm going to look at this one, and when you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, last year I was locked into this team, going with them, against them, of making all the right moves with the Bengals. This year, it's hard to try to figure out which Bengals team is going to show up. You had a team that a month ago, at home on a Thursday night, had one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a legitimate playoff team against these same Browns. I mean, Cleveland went in there, and there's no other way to put it. Sorry, they kicked the shit out of the Bengals, and it was the worst game of Andy Dalton's career. I mean, he looked putrid in that game. And then they go on the road, and they win 3 in a row on the road. And they go into New Orleans, a building that the Saints never lose in, and now the Saints had lost 3 in a row there. How do you explain the up and down with the Bengals?
Well, if I remember correctly, the Browns players came out afterward and said they knew the play call before the quarterback even made it. So he was that obvious on it. So Cincinnati's going to have to change something up for this game. But that's the way this whole division's been. I mean, how many times have we written off Pittsburgh, then how many times has Big Ben thrown 6 touchdowns or whatever in a game? I mean, the whole division has been crazy all year.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. My play here, it's not going to make you happy, and we might end up having a lunch bet come out of this. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go against your Browns here. I think Cincinnati, last week's game against Pittsburgh, the score shows it as a blowout. That game was tight for 3 quarters. It turned on a turnover in the 4th quarter, and then Pittsburgh had 2 big plays. And Bell, the running back for Pittsburgh, what a season he's having, both running the football and coming out of the backfield catching passes. There's nobody on this Cleveland offense that dynamic like an Antonio Brown and Bell for Pittsburgh. I don't see Cleveland having the success against Cincinnati the second time. That was an embarrassing loss for them. I like a team in revenge that got embarrassed in the first meeting, especially the fact that it was a TV game. I think they come to play, and if there's anybody that's going to be focused, Andy Dalton. It was his worst game of his career, and they will make changes if the play calls were being signaled out, if they were tipping their hand.
If that was his worst game of a career, he had a long list of other games that could have contributed to that. Yeah, this is a must-win game for Cleveland. if they want to make the playoffs. Obviously, they want to make the playoffs.
Right.
I just don't think they're good enough. But you've got a team, they're a game and a half behind, I believe, at this point. So if they don't win this game, basically their season is done. You've got the unknown from the Cleveland side. Cincinnati does not know what to prepare for, and I think that's a big deal here with Cleveland. The Cleveland defense actually came out after last week's game. You know, teams that score 2 defensive touchdowns are
Almost always win.
50, is it 50-2? 48-2, something like that. The 2 times were Cleveland. Last week was one of them. So they came out and they basically said, listen, we've done all we can. You've got to put us in a position to win. So with bringing Manziel in now, even the backers of Hoyer have said, okay, now maybe we need to do this. I think this is all good timing. And the way they knew Cincinnati's playbook last time, Cincinnati can't change the playbook that drastic for one game. I like the Cleveland side here.
All right, well, I'm going to disagree. I've got Cincinnati. That's my play here. I've got Cincinnati winning at 27-17. I just don't think Cleveland is going to be able to get enough offense going with Manziel at quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and take Cincinnati. And if you want to,
we'll do the lunch bet. I'm getting kind of hungry.
All right, no problem. Brian's on the opposite side. I say take Cincinnati. Guys, for watching the video, we're going to give you a treat. If you want to head over to wagertalk.com, you can get $10 off when you use the video coupon WIN, W-I-N, and the number 10. Just use that coupon when you check out, and you'll get $10 off any package this weekend. You can use that coupon now through Monday. You can use it one time and get $10 off any package. All right, we're going to come right back. More NFL action up next. wagertalk.com.